ticket.
Yep.
Did you figure out how to record, Bruce? I think it just popped up.
I started the record, so whenever y'all are ready, y'all can just start.
Thank you, Lee. It is 12 o'clock, so you guys ready to rumble?
We're ready to rumble.
Let's give it a couple more minutes and make sure we don't have any late arrivals.
Okay. Janie and Oscar have joined us. We appreciate you guys. So if you bear with us just a minute, we're going to kind of hang on and let some last minute folks join us here possibly. And we've had some issues with streaming it live to Facebook, which could be a problem. But so we're hopefully we can solve all that at the same time here while we give it a couple more minutes. So.
And Janie and Oscar, if y'all don't feel comfortable talking, if y'all have any questions, make sure to type it into the chat. Also, if you would like to share what your area of interests may be, or if you don't know yet, that's okay too. If you're just general studies for now, if there's something specific you want to hear about, that way we can spend more time on the items that y'all are interested in since y'all are here and live with us.
Definitely. So if you guys have already selected a degree plan or an area of study, feel free to open up your mic or type it in the chat, and then we'll make sure that we cover that when we talk about our programs of study.
I heard business is a really great program.
Really?
They have a really good faculty.
Why?
I heard that too.
Yeah, imagine that.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Shameless plug, shameless plug. That's all right.
We can do more.
You have earned the right.
I'm going to turn off my video unless I have to talk, okay? So that I can be over here making sure I'm playing the right things.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and let's get this party started. So it's 2 minutes after, so we'll go ahead and start. So welcome again, everybody, Oscar and Janie and anyone else who has joined us. This is our virtual info session prior to the start of the spring 2022 semester, and we look forward to having you as Eagles, and hopefully this will be a good semester for you guys. And our purpose here today is kind of inform you on our programs of study, some financial aid information, our academic and student services. If you have questions or issues about registration or admissions and applying and all that, we've got that covered as well. Also, this is an interactive session. So granted, we're going to be spouting out a lot of information at you today, but at the same time, we want to hear from you. So if there's questions that you might have of something that we talk about, or it might pop something in your head that says, oh, I don't understand or something, feel free to type in the chat or open up your microphone if you have access to the mic and let us know what's going on when we have a little break in the in between here so we don't interrupt anyone. So again, welcome everybody, and let me kind of go around the grid here. At the top next to me is Angela Reese, Dr. Angela Reese. She is with the Business Administration Department. Next to her is Professor Chastity Clemens. Dr. Clemens, she is also an instructor with the Business Administration Department and also the faculty sponsor for Net Impact, one of our many student organizations. And below me is Jeff Pyatt. He is with the our retention, our recruiting counselor and with admissions. And then in the middle, the eagle there is Barbara Merlo, our director of marketing. And just ignore Calvin Hobbs, that's AKA Angela Reese again. So, and Julie Starkey's here in case she's with Student Success and Persistence. So if there's any questions that come up in that area, she'll be free to chime in as well. And then Lee Greenthaner is also with us in our marketing department, and she is recording this so we can get this to Facebook later since we're having trouble streaming. Also, let you know right off the top of the bat, this will be available later on YouTube. So if there's any information that we cover that you need to review or go over once again, or at any time at your leisure, it'll be available on YouTube later today. So again, so welcome everyone to CTC, and I'm going to throw it over to Barbara to kick things off as she has an intro video that we'd like to share.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Making sure I'm going to do it right the first time.
All right. And hopefully everyone can see the screen. All right. So as you can see, we have many things to offer both inside and outside the classroom. And if you're kind of wondering, that last section there was our Morton Hall, there's our student dorm. So if you want to live on campus, we have that option available for you as well. And at the start of the video, you may have noticed there were plenty of classroom shots, and we offer in-person lecture, we offer online classes, we also offer blended, which is a combination of online and face-to-face, and SVL courses, which are live virtual, just like this. Your instructor will be talking to you just like this, and you will come to class at a designated time and interact with your instructor just like we're doing with you now. So again, those are all class delivery options available. And again, with all our classes, we offer many different programs of study. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Angela Reese, and she will kick us off with our programs of study.
Thank you, Bruce. Good afternoon, Eagles, future Eagles, or Eagles that have been with us for a while. We are excited that you took time today to be here with us to learn more about the variety of options with pathways and programs of study at Central Texas College. So before we get started looking into each of our different clusters, we want to start with a video and how to get started with choosing a program of study. Okay, so if you're curious as to why we showed you this video and the importance behind it, one thing that is going to be critical as you move forward is in understanding what classes that you need to take. So at CTC, we have a great financial aid program that will be online here in just a little bit to talk to you about paying for college. But one thing you don't want to do are take classes that are not a part of your degree program. So first, let's just talk about a few of the things that were listed in that introductory video. And if you want to go back and watch it later, it is there for you to watch multiple times to take in all of the great information. But a few key things that I want to point out before we dig into each of the six programs areas is that these were created by state agencies. And so that it makes it easy, regardless of whatever college you go to, that these are all clustered together. So it makes sense regardless of how the college or university organizes things. So for example, at CTC, as Bruce said, Dr. Clemens and myself, we are both a part of the business administration department. That also has Homeland Security, paralegal, real estate, accounting, logistics, and hospitality included in that. And at another college, it might not be grouped in that manner. So this is why we have this page created for you that will look the same at each institution across the state of Texas. So that's one thing to talk about. Another thing, you probably saw stackable degrees and didn't know what that was. We're going to go into depth about that, but just in short, what that means is just think about a stair step and you're taking steps to reach your goal, reach your education journey, complete it. So those steps along the way allow you to start getting certificates and then into an associate degree. So for example, year one is going to be your certificate program. Excuse me. And then into year two, that stacks into taking additional courses so that you can get an associate degree. So from there, you also saw that there were career and technical degrees as well as university transfer degrees. We're going to go into detail about that as well. But just in short, what that means are workforce education classes or those that prepare you to get started now. So you might be at a business and looking to become a manager. So you might take the supervision certificate, then you can go back to your employer and say, look, I've completed my first year of college. They could potentially give you a raise for that or additional responsibilities. And then you can move into that associate degree. So these are designed to get you the most direct information about that specific program. Now, these programs can also transfer to universities, but they were created to help you get started in the workforce now or advance in a current career. Then we also have university transfer courses and degrees that are meant to help you get to a specific university. So we'll talk more about that as we go through each of these 6 programs and areas of study. Bruce, I think your screen is being shared right now. Did you want to add some stuff before we move into the programs? Bruce, I can't hear you. There we go. Okay, it looks
There
like
we go.
it's
Sorry, I was trying to get unmuted and the screen was minimized and I couldn't get there. So
that's okay.
let me share and we'll start.
Okay, can y'all see that now?
Hang on a second.
Okay. All right. So
So now we're sharing, and this is the homepage, ctcd.edu.
thank you, Bruce.
Yeah.
So as you can see, or over to the right-hand side where you can explore academic programs, once you click on that, then you'll be able to go to the screen that I was showing. So right at the very top, that is going to be the video. And now we're actually going to go in and break down each of those 6 different programs to explore. So the first one is going to be Arts and Humanities, and these are all going to be set up very similarly. So there's going to be a video for that area of study, each of the 6, and then it will also list below each of the different programs that you can go into. So in this one, let's click on Graphics and Printing. This is just one of the many that are listed under this Arts and Humanities. Once we go to Graphics and Printing, you will see that there's a video for this specific department, information about the Graphics and Printing department. And then as we scroll down, you'll be able to see what we all want to know, those potential earnings and growth in the market. And then a little bit further, and you'll be able to actually look at the different degrees and certificates that are available. So this is a very important area, especially if you are, maybe you're not in the Killeen area. Maybe you live in Austin or you live in North Texas somewhere. This is something that you're going to want to note, that this delivery mode is central campus during the daytime. So if this program were offered online, where Bruce is going over that central campus day, it would also show online there. So since you see only Central Campus Day, that means it is offered at the Central Campus in Killeen, Texas. Then on the left-hand side, you will see 4 different areas. First, we have that associate degree. And underneath it, we have 3 different certificate programs that you can work toward that associate degree. And then below that, you have your course description, which will give you details about program-specific courses in that department. And then, of course, down at the bottom, you have more information about contacting the department directly. So if we'll back out of that, I'll turn it over to Professor Clemens to move into the next section, which I believe is business.
There you go.
All right. Happy New Year, everyone. Excited again for you to be considering being an Eagle with us. I am alumni, so I will tell you it's an amazing school that I decided to work for them. So let's go into business and business technology. Just like Dr. Reese said, this is just a area program, and underneath it you're going to find different areas you can go into, and it also has that video introducing you to business. I'm going to go ahead and go to the business link, which is the second link, please. Under here you're going to find that we have a video, again more detailed towards just the business degree and certificates. Go ahead and scroll down. One of the things I like about this is it does give you an idea of what you could take the certificate and the degree into the workforce, but also you can go to what's called onnet.net if you don't see the position here, and look up what the medium would be for a position you're trying to obtain with our certificate or degree. Go ahead and scroll down. Here it says knowing your pathway. Underneath here, could you click on the business management pathway? So when Dr. Reese was speaking about pathways and it gave you those stair steps, here's an example. For those of you that are visual learners, this really helps kind of break it down. I'm a color coder, so I love this one. So if you start off with our certificate here at CTC, the supervision, then you can move into that completion as well of getting the certificate in management. So what's really neat is you're building on these certificates. At the end, you continue to keep going towards that degree, as you can see underneath the third step, because you're leveling up. And then the fourth one, like Dr. Reese said, this is a technical degree. Yes, it'll get you into the workforce. It'll help you start a business, but also it is transferable. So with that being said, I actually have my AAS from CTC in business management. I was able to transfer to a 4-year school where they accepted all of my credits. So what I also tell my students is to kind of work backwards. If you're planning to get the business management degree or the business administration degree, look for what 4-year school that you're trying to go to next, or you're trying to transfer, and ensure that we have either an articulation agreement with them, which you can find on our website, or go ahead and call them and see if we will be able to connect with them, or if all your classes or credits will transfer. And then from there, you can move on to more things. Go ahead and go out of this one. All right. So as we said earlier, this shows you the differences in the degrees and certificates that the business and business technology offers. If you look down underneath the degrees and certificates, as Dr. Reese said, that delivery mode, I want to point that out a little bit. So you see on the graphics design that she showed earlier, it only showed Central Campus Day. Well, you can see where she was describing where it said online. So all of these courses that are within these certificates and degrees are obviously available either Central Campus or online. So if you are not here locally, the business degree is a great degree to be on. If you look at a business, I want you to look at business administration and business management so you understand acronyms, okay? I know if you're not military, acronyms are kind of foreign. So AS is that applied science. That's that academic degree that Dr. Reese was speaking about. The business management is an AAS. This is an applied arts and science degree. So this is your technical. This is back into the workforce, but it is still transferable. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the CC, that is your certificate. Okay. Again, we have the same thing with the course description. So if you're looking to take BUSI 1301 Business Principles, you can click on the BUSI and it will describe, thank you. It'll show you in the course sections which is available, and it'll show you whether it's available. If you look on the left side, depending on where you want to take the class, Central Campus obviously is here in Killeen, Texas. You can choose online, or you can choose one of our satellite sites across the world. But this gives you more information on the class, and it helps you find out what sections are open to register in. Okay, if you would go out of this. All right, and same thing before, there's the contact the department. If anytime, I would tell you, no matter what degree you're on, certificate you're on, always contact your department, because they're the ones that have that inside information that can really help you. Counselors are great at CTC, and they'll get you started and going. But once you get on your degree, definitely connect with that department, because they're the ones can answer questions, particularly about classes. For instance, I know Dr. Reese will probably show you an example of a outline of what we suggest you take within your degree per semester, we can help you figure out, hey, don't take accounting with microeconomics, or don't take accounting with a science class. So we can advise you on things like that as well. Back over to you, Dr. Reese.
Thank you, ma'am. And as Bruce gets back to our third area of interest, one other thing to add to that is, like Dr. Clemens said, ask questions, talk to people. Don't just pick something and start taking classes, because your faculty are the experts in the field. In order to teach these types of classes, we have to have the experience to back up the degrees that we have. So talk to us about what you're interested in doing. If it's opening your own business, if it's flying an airplane, don't talk to me about that, but there's certain things you're going to talk to those departments about and say, this is what I want to do. Am I on the right degree program? What do you suggest? And then we can sit down and talk about your options. As Dr. Clemens said, we can think about your end goals, and then we can build a plan that's best for you. We love for students to come in and see us. So just come on in and let us know how we can help you. All right, so moving into our third pathway or program area, we have construction, manufacturing, and transportation, again, set up very similarly to all of the others. One thing that I do want to point out, which we saw it in some of the others, is that let's look at, don't click on it, but just see how truck driving next to it says that this is a short-term continuing education non-credit course. So we have a couple of these listed in each of those areas. So just note that those are classes that you can take through our continuing education department. These are not college credit. They're structured a little bit differently, have different start dates than a traditional college class. So you just want to make sure that you realize that that is a non-credit or a non-college credit course. So as we are looking at this area, my favorite to check out, just because I don't think everybody knows that we have this program, is aviation. I alluded to it earlier. So let's go ahead and learn about flying airplanes. So in this program that we have, again, aviation, you can look to see about the program, and they actually are very well known across the nation for this program. They are award-winning national champions in a lot of the things that they do that the students get to compete in. And just like the program, even though it wasn't listed, there is a continuing education course called Come Fly With Me. So you might say, let me check that course out and see if truly learning how to fly is something I really am even interested in before you spend the money to go into becoming a pilot. I like to give this example of a friend that wanted to be a nurse in high school, and she went to her first clinical rotation after years of being in classes and passed out. She realized that that was not the program for her. So you might think this is great. I love flying, no big deal. But then you get in that small plane that you're learning to fly in, and it doesn't go so well. So you definitely want to explore your options and make sure that you have all of the information available to you. So here, same thing, you can see the information about potential earnings. As you scroll down, you'll be able to look to the specific degrees. This one is one that is very straightforward, is Aviation Science. This is it. This is the only program that, or excuse me, degree that we have. And it is something that is required in order to move forward to become an official pilot. You see that this is also offered only on Central Campus. So let's go ahead, Bruce, and click on that Aviation Science degree right there. And Dr. Clemens was talking about how we have your options laid out for you. Again, you don't have to follow this. This is just after years of offering these degrees that we have set it up in a manner that we hope works best for our students. You see, we have recommended classes first year, first semester, second semester, and so forth. Now, some of them you will be required to take in order and in some departments. So you definitely want to be on the lookout for that as well as to what you have to take in order. So again, this is just showing that Aviation Science degree program here. And if we'll back out of this one, Bruce. And toward the bottom, if you wanted to contact the department, you can do that as well. And if you don't have any questions so far, if you do, we're halfway through looking through these different programs. So if there's something that we're saying, as Dr. Clemens said, an acronym or something that we've said that is CTC lingo, make sure to stop us and put it in the chat. Let us know if you have a question about what we are going over.
Dr. Reese, I have a question. Some
Yes, sir.
programs may require additional, like maybe immunizations or different requirements other than just the application for admission. For example, nursing, students apply for the college, but then the nursing program is separate. Do you know, other than maybe nursing or maybe some other programs, what, that students may need to apply for separately or in addition?
Other than nursing, there aren't any off the top of my head that I can think of. As you said, they do have certain requirements, such as sitting for the nursing exam. They also have prerequisite classes that you have to take before you can even apply to be in the nursing program. To my knowledge, that healthcare realm is the only one that we have that requires that. What I was alluding to more really was the prereqs for courses. For example, Cal 3. Or calculus you can't take until you've had your lower level math courses. So other than that, does anyone else have any courses or programs that you want to comment on that? Okay, Dr. Clemens, healthcare.
All right. So the next is healthcare, and I'm just like Dr. Reese's friend. I would not be good in this field because I would pass out in a heartbeat. So just like all the other programs, everything is very the same so that you are not going to get lost, that you'll be able to go through each of these and understand them. So we're going to look for healthcare. Let's look at, oh gosh, I don't know. Let's try fitness and wellness. I don't think I've ever, I was going to do nursing, but I'm going to go into that one. Something new. So I think this is really neat. I did this just because Bruce is on the line. So again, just like all the other ones, you're going to have the information that gives you the overview of what the degree or certificate is about. Again, potential earnings and the careers that you can move into with these degrees and certificates. Go ahead and scroll down. So for this one, you're seeing there is, again, only one degree, and that's the kinesiology degree. And this is one that I know I have a couple of students actually that went and got this degree, and they were doing simultaneously a business management degree because they wanted to open up their own gym. So again, you could do that as well. One of the things here, let's click on the KINE acronym. And that brings us back to the, what do you call it? The course sections and the courses. So if you would look over here on the left-hand side, and can you click on, let's see, underneath locations, can you kind of click on, so they can see the differences under like the TDLRN, Fort Hood. Okay, I guess it's, so one of the things I want to point out is with the courses is you're going to see in front of the course a TM or a TD, and those are also showing you, let me see, can we go to the grab one of the sections so I can show it?
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What are we talking here?
Available sections underneath the first class, the clinical nursing.
Any section, open sections only? Will that work? Or
The blue, click on the blue where it says available.
To the right.
oh, duh.
There you go. Okay.
But I'm here.
That's okay, because on my end, it doesn't show a lot. They click on, you see where it says, you don't have to click on it, but kind of point to it. You see where it says TM002, I believe that says. So that TM indicates that this course is also on campus, on Central Campus. So remember on the left-hand side, when we showed you whether it was Central Campus during the day or online, these are the acronyms. So if you're going to register for classes and you see TD or you see TM, that's going to tell you what kind of class this is. Okay, if you would exit out of this for me. And then again, the same thing, contact the department if you have any questions further on kinesiology. I have taken 2 classes at CTC, one with Bruce, and I tell you, I love it. As a matter of fact, you're going to find faculty and staff that we will take a class just to have exercise and enjoy the kinesiology program. Back over to you, Dr. Reese.
Thank you, Dr. Clemens. And yes, Coach Fassbinder, he will get you into shape. So if you need to take a class, he's one I recommend. All right, our next area is public service.
And Dr.
And
Reese,
just
real quick, while we're
yes, sir.
talking about that, I want to point out the fitness and wellness under the healthcare aspect is primarily geared toward like physical therapy and recreational therapy. And our kinesiology program is listed under public service. And that's where we have the aspects if you want to become a coach or a teacher or a personal trainer and those kind of things. So there's a difference between the fitness wellness here and this kinesiology here under public service. So I just wanted to, in case anybody was confused by that. So
Thank you, sir. All right, so in public service, the one that I want to show you is Homeland Security and Emergency Management. And this is a program that has definitely expanded over the last several years. It was one that was set up completely online and has now been adopted at several of our sites. Dr. Clemens mentioned the fact that we do have other sites. So if you didn't understand what she meant by that, that means we have 109 locations across the globe. So while we have Central Campus and Fort Hood Campus and Online Campus, we also have places literally scattered throughout the world connected to a lot of our military bases. So as we scroll through this one, as Bruce is showing us, it's set up the same as all of the others. But this is the area that I really wanted to show you the difference in the delivery mode. So this is going to be our first one that you can really see that a full degree is offered at various locations. So why is this important? Well, yes, we have online regardless of where you are in the world. And if you were to travel to, let's see, Fort Lee, then you would know that you would be able to take this program, continue this program at that location for the Homeland Security Emergency Management Associate degree, as well as the certificate program. However, if you are at Fort Wainwright and you started your degree program, that would be the only one, is that associate degree. So it's just really important to pay attention to where things are offered. But the great thing to note is that if you are at a location and you move to another, if the program is offered 100% online, you can just switch to our online program. And with online, one thing that I want to point out with this is that we have almost monthly start dates. So, if you just are unsure of exactly what you want to do, the 18th just seems too close, you don't have everything in order, and you want to wait till February. Well, good news. We have start dates in February, in March, and then throughout the summer and almost every month in the fall. So we have multiple start dates throughout the year. One thing to keep in mind with those various start dates are start and end dates. We are not a traditional community college, since we do have campuses across the globe, online programs, and so many different options for you. When you're searching for classes, just make sure that you're starting and ending when you intend to. So if you just want to be traditional, you want to start classes in January and end in May, you want to make sure that you are seeking those types of classes. So it's just important when you're searching for different sections to keep that in mind as well. And the good news is, if you get lost and you don't have a clue what we're talking about, we have people that are here to support you in Building 119, amazing staff there, as well as our Eagles on Call. So if you're thinking, well, I'm not local and I don't have time to come to Building 119, well, we have Eagles on Call. We will put their information in the chat here in just a moment, and you can email them, and that is being able to speak with an advisor online. And I got completely off topic, but let's bring us back to our final program with Dr. Clemens. I don't remember which one it is. It'll be a surprise for me. There we go. Science, technology, engineering, and math.
So,
You a
Dr.
math
Reese,
teacher, Angela?
I'm sorry?
You used to be a math teacher. Why did you not remember that one?
It's been a few years.
Okay.
Dr. Reese, can we go back? Because Janie messaged on the chat she would like to see the child development. Can we show that one to her?
sure.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry we missed that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you saw it.
No worries. So, Janie, I'll go ahead and just kind of touch on a little bit. Dr. Reese, you want to jump in? Go ahead. It's set up the same way as the other programs. Go ahead and scroll down so that she can see the different degrees that are offered. And so as you can see here, there is a degree in AAS in child development, but there are also certificates underneath that you can use to build up to that associate's degree. Just like Dr. Risa said earlier, you can see on the right-hand side that child development is not just offered here at main campus and online. There are other sites that have the courses that you would need. So if you're not here locally, do you have any specific questions that we can dive into for you? I just don't want to go around and not be able to answer your question.
And while she's
So
typing, go ahead, Jane.
I'm sorry. Hi.
Hi, I didn't know you had your mic
So,
on. Go for it.
yes. I'm brand new to this. It's been years. So I'm trying to figure out where I need to start at. Years ago, I took just a basic course in Victoria, Texas, where I was able to do teacher's aid. I paid the money, went to a week course, got my certification. I was good. However, that doesn't last. So I'm trying to figure out where I need to start. I want to get back into doing teacher's aid. However, I'm still a full-time mom to 3 girls in school, very active and stuff. So I want to start on my things, but I don't want to overwhelm myself where I'm just like, I can't do this.
Got it. Well, we have the Child Development Instructional Aid Teacher Assistant, which might be a great place to start. Also, to ease some of that scheduling problems, we have online availability in this particular program, as well as on campus here. So I'll click on that and you can see the 48 hours are required, and some of these courses may be familiar to you from what you've experienced in Victoria. So again, and one thing I was going to point out is one of the great things about CTC is we offer so many programs with hands-on training, hands-on teaching, and child development is definitely one of those. We have a child development center here on campus, and you will be working in that child development center directly with the children and with other staff members. So you'll be getting some hands-on training there as well. So.
Okay.
And I'd like to add to that too. Oh,
Sorry, Dr. Reese.
oh, that's okay. Go ahead, Dr. Clements.
So the one thing I just wanted to say is that as you're starting out, you don't have to go full time. So, and you could go full time where you're taking 2 8-week classes in the beginning of the semester, and then those will end and you can start 2 new 8 weeks. So technically you're taking 2 classes at a time. It's just the work will be in a shorter amount of time, but you also can go part-time. I would suggest to start out with part-time so that you can kind of get your feet wet and see if you can handle at least 2 college classes up front and with your schedule. Dr. Reese, did you want to add anything?
Yes, so 2 things. Bruce, if you'll scroll down just a little bit further, and I would suggest, Janie, that you contact that department directly with your specific questions. Just like Dr. Clemens and I specialize in our business programs, and we can tell you out of the 12 degrees that we have, which one is going to be best for you and your future goals. So I would say to also reach out to the department and see what they suggest you do. The other thing is that, and this might be an Amy or a Jeff question to answer, but as you go through the application process, there also is a process that I have not looked into in a couple of years, but to where we evaluate any credit that you have from other places that might apply. Jeff or Amy, could y'all touch on that, and if she has classes from another college?
Janie, you've applied for admissions, is that correct?
I have applied. I did my application. I'm stuck there. I was like, do I need to do the TSI? Do I need to go further with my registration?
It looks like you applied a couple of months ago. You're more than welcome to send me an email and say, hey, Jeff, what do I need next? As far as any kind of advising, the academic advisors will advise her on any kind of classes that might transfer from probably Victoria College.
Yeah, and Jamie, we're going to touch on all what the next steps are as far as after you apply. Jeff's going to go into that here shortly. So, and
Okay.
again, if he doesn't cover something that you need answers, feel free to chime in and ask that. But we are definitely going to cover what's the next step is after applying.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Certainly. Any questions on child development before we move on?
Yeah, did you say you have sent your transcript? And did you say it was from Victoria College?
So it wasn't from Victoria College. It was a program in Victoria where you show up, you go for like a week, and you take the test and they give you a certification.
Sounds like continuing education, perhaps.
Was it actually a teacher assistant, or was it the CDA, the thing at the bottom of the list? That child development associate sounds like it might be more not there, just one up. That's
Okay.
an occupational skills certificate, so that's only 3 credit hours, but it may qualify you in some ways for a teacher assistant in a school, but what this does is qualify you for child care centers that are required because they're accredited to
Okay.
hire employees who have this certification. So we have a specific teacher assistant that kind of teaches you more about public school work. And then we have the child development, a lot of child development programs that prepare you for entry level jobs and then going on up to administrator.
Okay, I have my certificate still, so would that be good to, when I email Jeffrey, put the title of that certificate and that'll kind of help what I need to do?
You can feel free to send that information to me, but advising we'll need to take a look at that to see if anything will transfer.
Okay.
Well, it
Alrighty.
might, Jeff, it might also be a good thing to send over with an email to the child development folks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you want to, well, you have a certificate, you can, I guess, send a copy of that if you want.
Okay. Thank y'all.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. And we're going to get to other questions here very shortly, Jenny, so hang tight. So, all right. So I'll back out of the child development and we'll go back to the STEM. And as I was saying earlier, all these programs, before we round out with STEM, we have so many hands-on opportunities. Like we talked about graphics and printing. And the one reason why that is Central Campus only, because there is a print shop and you'll be working in that print shop doing exactly what you want to do, graphic design and those kind of things. Culinary arts, we have a culinary kitchen. You will be cooking. You'll be preparing different meals every day and learning desserts, cake decoration, general meal preparation, and all those kind of things. Automotive technology, aviation, you'll be actually flying planes. You'll be working on cars in our automotive bay. Diesel technology, you'll be working on diesel engines, heating, HVAC, you'll be doing all of that stuff hands-on. So that's one thing I definitely wanted to point out, and is a true advantage of CTC. All right, Chastity, back to the STEM.
All right. So our last program is science, technology, engineering, and math. And just like Ruth said, it's also called STEM. So let's go ahead and dig into mathematics, because we all love math and we know how much we use it in the real world. I'm just kidding. Again, it starts out with a video. Our math department is amazing, by the way. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was in my grad school and I was in statistics, I actually used one of our professors as a tutor. So that's how good they are. So here again, with that math degree, what could you do with it? There are potential earnings and what careers you can get into. Knowing your pathway. Let's go ahead and drill into that one more time. That mathematics, yes, thank you. So just like it was before, it shows you how you can start off with that associate's from us, move on to a bachelor's, into a master's, and then possibly into a doctoral degree. And I will tell you, I am a prime example of how this works. Again, I got my associates here, went on to get my bachelor's, my master's, and my doctorate with a CTC degree. So I will tell you that we have phenomenal degrees that are definitely education academic worthy. So again, this shows you that you have potential. You have to figure out what your strategic goal is. Once you figure out what your strategic goal, which is your top goal, then you'll create those tactical goals, right? And that's each of these steps that we can help you achieve. Go ahead and exit out. Scrolling down the maths department, you'll see that there is a associate's degree that is available. It is an AS, that's an academic degree. So you're going to get all your core classes. If you would dig into that real quick in the mathematics degree, you'll see on there, you'll have core classes on there. So there's more than just math classes. You'll have English, 101 or English 1, Composition 1. You will have classes such as, let's see what else is on there besides. Government, there you go. So what would government need math, right? But you need those core classes to transfer. That's the key on an academic degree. We want to make sure that you do not have to backtrack when you get to that four-year school and have to spend more money to not be able to move forward into your junior year. All right, go ahead and exit out. And then again, just like all the other programs, if you have any questions, contact directly the department. They can answer any questions that you have.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing here and, all right, here we go. So now we've talked about the different career pathways and academic programs, and now what's next? After you learned all of that, we need to know how to get to CTC and what to do. And so Janie kind of opened that doorway a little bit. So Jeff, I'm going to turn it over to you and talk about admissions and applying and the steps that we need to do as far as TSI and all those kind of things.
All right, sounds great. Thanks, Bruce, and thanks, Dr. Clemens and Dr. Reese, for going through all the programs and so on. Bruce, if I guess you're the in charge of the website. Okay, go to our website here, and I'm going to show the students, applicants, how to access where they need to apply. And I believe, Janie, we've received your application. Oscar, I didn't see your application. A discussion that you and I had privately, you said that you're going to apply for admission. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and then just go from there. So on our website, at the top, you're going to click the red Apply Now button. So Bruce, if you'll go ahead and do that. Okay.
It's showing up on my screen. I don't know.
Yeah, and I keep looking at my mouse thinking I have control of it, and I don't. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to have to create an account first. You're going to put your first name in there, your last name in there, and a good working email address. And a little bit of information about email addresses is have something that sounds professional. If you have something that's silly, like Big Trucker 95 or something like that at Yahoo, it's going to get flagged, and that's just going to delay the application process. You know, Nice Girl 85 or something like that is just not going to go through in a timely manner. So first name dot last name at maybe at Hotmail or Gmail or something like that, it'll go through a little bit easier. So go ahead and you're going to click that you're not a robot, and then you're going to hit submit. So after you do that, Bruce, go to the login page. After you hit submit, you're going to go to your email address that you checked. My name is, first name, last name at whatever. Your username is going to be your email address. You're going to check that email that you put in there, and it's going to have an email from CTC Admissions. When you click on that email, it's going to say, when you click on that email, it's going to give you a link that says reset password. Well, actually, you're creating a password. You click on it, you put your password in, you create it, then you'll go to this page here. Your username is that email address, and then your newly created password. Okay, so as you're going through the application, on the left-hand side of the application, you should see either green circles, black and yellow circles, or clear circles. Green circles means that the area is complete. A black and yellow circle means that you're missing something, and the clear circles mean that you haven't attempted that area just yet. Sometimes when you get down to the bottom of the page and you try to submit it, it may say 99%, but you might not be able to get over to 100%. Refresh your screen, because very likely you missed something. Okay, it's always the third question, which is your middle name. Of course, there's a few other things in there that you might miss as well. But feel free to send me an email, and I can send you a little guideline that I have typed up that'll tell you how to access and things like that. Okay, so we'll be glad to do that. The application for CTC, it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't obligate or bind you to anything. So your application to CT is good for a year. So if you're in high school, for example, and you apply now for the fall of 2022, if you decide that you're not going to come in the fall of 22, it's good for the spring and summer of 2023. Okay. After that, you'll need to reapply for admission. Okay. So your application is good for a year from the time you apply, or a year from the time you last attend. All right. So before you are able to pick the kind of classes that you want to take, you will need to satisfy your testing requirements. Okay. And we don't require the SAT or the ACT, but we'll we'll be glad to take a look at those if you submitted those. But what you can take here at CTC is what we call the TSI-A2. Okay, and I guess Bruce, if you'll show them how to access where they can find that information.
Okay. I just went to the admission page. You apply for
Click on that, because I was having some difficulty finding it. I usually just type everything in that I'm looking for.
Okay.
If I can't find something, I type in CTCD testing.
Hey, Bruce,
Something like that.
it's on under apply for admission. If you click on back to where you were,
Right.
and if you scroll down on the left-hand nav bar, it says
Texas
yes.
Initiative.
Click on that. Okay. And scroll down. I don't know if the contact information is on there or not, but you can make an appointment with the testing office here on campus and take the test. If you're in public school in KISD, I suggest you take it there because they offer it multiple times a semester, maybe a couple times a week or something, and it's free there. If you take it at CTC, it's going to cost you $25. A lot of people think that this is an entrance exam, meaning if you don't pass, you're not going to get into CTC. That's not what it means at all. It determines where do you stand academically. Are you college level? Are you college level in reading, writing, and math, or do you need some kind of developmental class? Okay, and so it's not an entrance exam. It's a placement exam. It'll tell you where you need to stand. And as far as what you score on the test, you will speak with academic advising, and they can help you with your scheduling. They can also talk to you about the different kind of programs that we offer. If you want to take child development or something like that, they can tell you the kind of classes that you need to take based on your test scores. Okay. If you are 21 years of age or younger, you will need to submit proof of bacterial meningitis vaccination if you take a face-to-face class. If you take a distance learning class, the bacterial meningitis vaccination isn't required. But if you take a combination of face-to-face and online, then that bacterial meningitis is required. At one point, let's say that you apply for the nursing program, I think that they require different kind of vaccinations. So you would need to talk to them to find out what those are. I'm not certain about the aviation program if you need to have a physical, but some programs may require different vaccinations. Okay, and really that's it as far as the application for admission to CTC. I'll put my email address in there. You're welcome to email me. I'll be glad to help you. And of course, questions are how are you going to pay for college? And I think either Bruce or Barb Merlot are going to talk a little bit about the application for the financial aid or show a video or something like that. But
Yeah, that would be Barbara. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. So if there's
absolutely.
any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. Jeff will provide his email address so he can contact you directly, or you can write it down and send him whatever questions you may have. But in the interim, we talked about applying and the courses. Now let's talk about how we're going to pay for those courses. So Barbara will talk about financial aid and other grant money that we have, which could result in a free semester for you.
Do you want to, can I share my screen instead, Bruce?
Yeah, please do. I can stop sharing and there we go.
Because I have the video. I don't know if I'm going to show it, but I do want to share how to get to information on, and most people will ask about financial aid, most students, but it's really a lot more than financial aid. At CTC, financial aid means aid that you will receive, need-based aid that you would receive by filling out the FAFSA. And we want to make sure that everyone does that. But there's a lot of other options for paying for college. If I can get our little thing to go, and I won't even bother. If you click on the paying for college link, it kind of gives you all the options. So financial aid, everyone will do. Everyone needs to do. We also have scholarships through our foundation. So good examples, some of these scholarships are not need-based. So if we have a student that may not qualify for a full Pell grant or might not qualify for enough to pay, scholarships are an option. Of course, active duty military have tuition assistance, military spouses have a MyCAA program, veterans benefits, and the most recent addition is we have emergency aid that we have a very wide latitude to award to students right now. And if you apply and register at CTC, you're a full-time student, you will receive, regardless of whether or not you have financial aid or not, you will receive $2,000 once you pass the last withdrawal date. So that's kind of a big amount of money, and it's helpful, especially now with, inflation and also childcare. That's the one factor that is difficult for a lot of students to cover. Pell Grants will definitely cover most tuition and fees and books, and a lot of people end up getting a balance check. But if you have to put your kids in childcare so you can attend class, you got to find a way to do that. And this amount of money may keep people from taking out loans, which we definitely do not recommend. So I'm going to go back to the financial aid page and show you. This is the financial aid page. It gives you some deadlines, which are suggested deadlines. They process them as they get them. But if you go to this little resources tab, it gives you step by step how to do the process. The very first step is to apply for financial aid, but if you have not yet applied to CTC, they won't send us your file. So apply for admission first. It's free, as Jeff, I think, said, and then do your FAFSA. We do have a video that I think may also be under these resources. It's somewhere. If it's not, I'm going to make sure it's somewhere. It looks like this. It's about 2 minutes and 43 seconds, and it has a lot of information on exactly how you do the FAFSA. So, and gives you a little bit of guidance on CTC. I'm not going to turn on the
To help pay for classes here at CTC, many students apply for financial aid.
how to get.
We'll walk you through the FAFSA application process.
Where the checklist is.
Apply. After completing the admissions process, you are ready to apply for financial aid. The application to apply for financial aid is online at FAFSA. Selected for verification, you must see YouTube page to view a step-by-step tutorial on how to register.
Other videos related to
funds approximately.
So I will put a link to this video in the chat. And I think that's a quick overview. And I'm not an expert on this. So if anybody has any questions, now would be a pretty good time to ask them. And I could do my best to answer.
If we receive benefits because our spouse is retired military, what building do we go to for that?
We are very, very fortunate at CTC that we have actual VA employees who are vet success on campus staff, and they're the best place to start. You can bring your husband with you, and they can they can look in the VA system, tell him what he's eligible for, give him step-by-step instructions for not just how they deal with us, but for also how they deal with the VA. Our VA folks and the vet success folks are, as Amy put in the chat, in the student services building, which is right next to where Amy and Jeff are in the enrollment center. So, and our building numbers make sense now, so you may actually be able to find the buildings. We just did a building renumbering. They're right next door to each other, just past the dorm. Does that make sense? But I mean, you can start the process with our VA folks, but there's a little bit of process that has to happen on your side before that with the VA. So my husband went there. He wanted to take some classes, and he's a veteran, and they set him up and said, this is exactly how you do it. So I'm going to put that link in the chat as well. So that you can start with them. Because a lot of the questions that you might ask our folks, they're not going to be able to know the answer because they don't know what your eligibility is. And what Bruce put in was our staff. I'm going to put a link to the Vet Success folks who will be able to see, oh yeah, you can do chapter 31, you can do chapter 32, you're eligible for this, this could be transferred. Here's how much you have, here's how I suggest stacking your benefits so that you can get all the way through school to your goal. So that they can just tell you what you're eligible for, how to start the process with the VA, and then our people process they take your certificate and go from there to get the funding from the VA.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, any other questions on financial aid? And as Barbara mentioned, we do have scholarship opportunities. And once you apply and take some classes at CTC, then you'll be eligible to apply for scholarships. And those will be the online scholarship application opens January 15th and runs through February 28th. And it only takes one application to kind of suit you for as many scholarships as you qualify for. So you don't need to fill out 5 different applications for 5 different scholarships. One application will be sufficient to meet numerous or multiple scholarship opportunities for you. So there you go. Okay. Any other questions on our money, on how to pay?
I'd like to add to that, Bruce, that we have one of the faculty members in the business department actually sits on that foundation board that gives away all of the grant money, the scholarships, and I'm sorry, the scholarships, not the grant money. And he said that there is a lot of money that they are unable to give away every year, year after year, especially this past year. So that means people aren't applying for it. So I would strongly encourage you to apply. As Bruce said, it's a very easy process. It's just one application and you go into all the little buckets that you might qualify for.
Exactly. And as Angela said, there's money to be had out there with the scholarships and with the ARP grant. It could turn into a free semester for you, a free education semester for you. So we strongly encourage you to take advantage of these opportunities and now. So, and get a jump on that education and degree plan while it's free, while you have a free opportunity. So. All right. Any questions on anything that we've covered today? I know we threw a lot of information out at you. We talked about our numerous programs of study and how to apply and some of the other requirements such as TSI and immunizations and then how to pay for school and those kind of things. So, Barbara, I don't know if you want to show that final video because I know sometimes yes, sometimes no.
We didn't show the academic support video. So
yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about some of those things we offer. So, and Julie Starkey, she's online with us too, and she can chime in and talk about the numerous academic support services we offer. We offer free tutoring through our academic studio.
Want to do the
if you find
video?
yourself in a bind and you need some extra help in a nursing class or a science class or something, talk to the folks at the academic studio. You can set up an appointment. You can meet in person. They do virtual as well. We offer textbook lending and childcare to those who qualify for those services as well. For our industrial tech students, we offer a $25 bus pass on using the Clean Hop to and from your home to school here. So if you're an industrial tech student, so there are other options here for you that we can help you make this a very successful semester and make your time here at CTC quite enjoyable. So if you want to show the academic support video, I'll shut up now and let you have it.
I think you covered about at least half of it. So maybe if Julie's available to speak to some of the things, I don't think did you talk about the Career Center and all that?
I have not.
Support.
I have not talked about
it may be the only two, and the library are the only things that maybe you missed.
Sure. Julie, do you want
to add a little bit about what your folks do?
Sure. Hold on, let me turn myself back on. The student success and persistence area, we are made up of many departments, and our whole job is to help students be successful and to help them with resource and referrals and questions and anything that they have. So let me just go over a couple things that weren't mentioned already. Career services, and that is a huge area that's going to help you first and foremost, if you're struggling trying to figure out what it is you want to be when you grow up, or if I've heard a lot of discussion about people got into a program and then they got confused and maybe it didn't fit with them and they didn't know what to do. Well, that's when you involve career services, because they have all kinds of interest inventories and different kinds of ways that we can check your values. We can look at your interests. We can see what kinds of different things that you have, and then make some recommendations to you. And then we give that information back to the academic advisors, and they can share with you different academic programs and kind of get you on a path for success. So that's number one in the career services. But the other thing that area does is resume preparation. And there are a lot of classes that actually require that you prepare your resume. And that area, it's a free service. They will evaluate your resume. They will help you prepare it. They will give you tips and feedback. Also, if you're going into an interview, they will do interview preparation for you. And prepare you for how to do an interview and how to do it successfully. What we are finding is the students that work with our career services area in preparation of interviews, they have a greater likelihood of being successful going through that interview. They learn a tremendous amount going through that process, how to answer certain questions, what to avoid, all of that. So there's a ton of things that our career services area can help you with. We offer career fairs. We have career talks in various classrooms that happen. So there's a ton that happens in that area. The other area I really want to talk to you about too is disability support services. So if you need any kind of accommodation, let's say you were in high school and you were on a 504 plan or an IEP, we do not accept 504s or IEPs at the college level. So we do provide accommodations in the classroom. So a lot of them are, you may need a note taker. You may need extended time on a test. You may need books in alternative format. All of those kinds of things. And that's what our disability support services area provides for you. You do have to provide the documentation that supports the accommodation. And a lot of times you can get that from your high school counselor. You can also usually have gone through testing for that, and you can provide some of that testing to us, and then we can help you determine what those accommodations should be. We will work with your faculty and with you on all of those kinds of issues and helping you be successful in the classroom for all of those kinds of things. It is a big switch going from high school to college and how accommodations work. So we do encourage you to reach out to that area very early on, so that they can help you be successful and help you work you through that process. Probably the biggest change is in high school. The school did the work for you. In college, you have to be your own advocate in this area, and you have to take a stand and get involved. But I want you to know we have an office that's here that wants to help you be successful. And then the other area I'll just mention is our student life and activities. This is where all of our clubs and activities. I know Chastity Clemens, she runs one of our major clubs. Barb Merlot runs another one of our major clubs, but we have a lot of opportunities and just a lot of opportunities to get involved. And it's just a place. We coordinate a lot of events and things like that. The other area that I do mention, it doesn't fall in my area, and that is our library. They have a tremendous amount of support programs for our students, whether it be writing a paper and citation support so that you don't get in trouble with plagiarism, research support, study rooms, the media lounge. So they offer also a ton of supports for students that you should be aware of as well. Those are just the highlights. Those are a few of the highlights that we offer in addition to some of the things that Bruce already mentioned.
Yeah, in addition to those, the library offers online support through research, paper writing, and those kind of things, as well as in person. So whatever you're more comfortable with, that you have access. Let's put it that way. So there you go. Thank you, Julie. We appreciate that. So, any other questions from Janie, Oscar, anybody else who's on board with us right now? So now's the time, and normally at this time I ask everybody to kind of throw out one piece of nugget that they would leave you with, one good last bit of wisdom. And I know that Angela and Chastity will both say to ask questions. So do not fail to get with your instructors or the support services folks or the academic services support folks and ask the questions. There are no such things as dumb questions, because if you don't know it, you got to find out so you can be successful. And we're here to help you to do that. So please ask those questions of whatever it might be, because whatever you're asking, somebody else may have that same question, and we can cover more when somebody asks that. So Angela, I'm going to turn it over to you to start with, Dr. Reese, if you'll give us your last wisdom, nugget of wisdom here for our potential Eagles.
Yes, I'll reiterate what you said, ask questions, but I also want to make sure to tell no one or everyone to not go to Building 119, which is where I directed you to go earlier. When Barb mentioned that we renumbered our buildings, I remembered that no one's in 119 anymore. So go see them in building what, Jeff?
209.
209.
Uh-huh.
It's called the Enrollment
Yes.
Services, Enrollment
Yes.
Center. Enrollment
Thank
Center.
you.
So, yeah.
Student services next door in 215. That's where financial aid and veteran services are. Testing.
Thank you, sir.
Good deal. All right. How about you, Professor Clemens?
Well, since you stole my, ask questions and talk to people, but I will say is check your emails. Check your Eagle email, because the college corresponds with you from the registration to anything as far as your grades, financial aid, your instructors. We all email you at the Eagle email. So please check your emails. A lot of the information goes there.
Yeah, and Barbara, you'll give us an insight on the Eagle Mail when that is set up.
It's complicated.
It's a little complicated, but
And honestly, I'll tell you, it's complicated because we had a lot of problems with not bots, but actual people who were creating accounts. And Amy and her folks ended up suffering quite a bit for that. But there were other things that happened. So you now don't get your student email until the same time you get your American Rescue Plan check. So that's right after the last opportunity to withdraw from the class without it's a census date. So yeah.
but when you do get that
and then
Eagle
you
Mail,
get that Eagle Mail and everything will just switch over, so it'll be previously to your CTC, to your personal email that you applied with, and then it'll switch over. But that's not my words of wisdom. I have them.
no, well, we're talking about Eagle Mail real quick. When you do get your Eagle Mail, that is Chastity Clemens is exactly correct. That's how all your professors will get in touch with you. If there's a change in the class schedule, if there's a change in test date, or anything that you need to know, they will communicate with you through your Eagle Mail. So please check that. And again, it's very important that you do that. So now, Barbara, go ahead and share your words of wisdom.
I always, especially since Marceli Vargas is not here, who's our student life coordinator, I just want to say that, this is largely a commuter campus. We do have residence halls on campus, but the majority of our students commute. If you come to school here, don't drive here for classes and leave. Get involved in something. Even if it's just finding people to hang out with in the campus center. But, my preference is to tell you, find a student club that's something that you connect with, and it's not because of the club, it's because of what you get out of it. What you get out of it is a peer group. It's a lot easier to ask questions to your peers than it is to find out who the heck at CTC to ask questions to. Although we are going to have a chat bot in a couple weeks, so you can ask the chat bot. And then secondly, the value of leadership in one of those organizations goes a long way on a resume, especially going into fields like business, what I do, marketing, anything where you're going to be really dealing with the public, or you'll be asked to supervise people. It is just huge, and you don't realize how much difference it makes until you start filling out those applications and you don't get people calling you for interviews. Although right now you probably could, because
and we have a plethora of student organizations available, everything from academic based to community service based, such as Barbara's Rotaract Club, and Chassie's Net Impact is a more business entrepreneurial kind of thing. We have anime and all kinds of different clubs that could strike an interest with you. And so finally, Jeff and Amy, from the admissions and recruiting side, do you have any tidbits you'd like to share to wrap this up?
Bruce, you stole everybody's words of wisdom,
So
seeking questions, but you made a very good point. If you're a student on campus, if you don't know something, ask for help, because that's what we're here for. Okay, whether it's financial aid, whether it's information about your classes or something like that, we'll be glad to help. And one other thing that Marceli Vargas has always mentioned before is she's had lifelong friends that she's met in college. So get to know people, and they may be short-term friends or acquaintances, but you may know them for 20 and 30 years. I have a couple of friends from college that I've known quite a long time. So get to know those folks.
And if you're eligible for financial aid and you do a work study position, that's also a great networking way to network. Get
No,
some.
not to mention a little bit of cash on the side.
That was going to be my advice. Be a work study. If you qualify, be a work study. That's where I started, and I got to meet, Chastity, Dr. Clemens, and Dr. Reese, and so it's really great. Work studies. I hire work studies. I know probably everyone on here has a work study. It's great networking. It's a great opportunity, and best of luck to all of y'all. If y'all need anything, reach out.
No, thank you, Amy. How about you, Julie? One last word of wisdom from the academic studio or student success side.
Probably two things. Number one, use your resources starting day one. Don't let it pile up. Don't get to midterms. Don't use them day one. Open that door, find the courage, open the door, ask for tutoring, ask for help, go to financial aid day one. The second one is attendance matters, so go to class. And when I say physically go to class, if you're in a face-to-face, but if you're online, log on to that class multiple times a week and participate in that class. Don't think you can take the first week off. Again, it's doing everything starting day one.
There you go. Great. We appreciate that. Also, same thing with your SVL classes. You need to log on to those because those are just like sitting in a classroom, only you have the luxury of sitting in your car or sitting at home, but you need to be there in attendance for those. So classes for the spring semester start January 18th. We've got the 17th, the holiday off, and then we start that Tuesday, the 18th. And shortly after that, on the 20th, that Thursday, we'll have a welcome back bash from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And there'll be a lot of different academic departments and student services departments out there, and a lot of instructional departments out there to help you and provide information for you and kind of recap some of this information that we talked and give you some handouts and so forth. And then the following week, we'll have our success week, which Julia is helping put together there. And it'll have numerous online virtual activities and games and things for you win prizes. We'll have some face-to-face activities as well. So we've got a lot of things planned for you to start the semester off. And all of that is about getting you involved, getting you introduced to CTC and everything that this campus has to offer, in addition to just some great programs of study. So we hope you'll take advantage of those. Again, welcome back bash on the 20th, and the following week, success week. So please look out for those. So, and if there's any other information about CTC that you need, check ctcd.edu. Go to the About Us and click the news feed at on the drop-down box, and you'll see all of our press releases out there. So you'll learn exactly what CTC is doing in the community and some of the accolades CTC is receiving and some of the things CTC is involved with and some of what our employees are involved with and those kind of things. So always check those. Always check our social media as well, because we put a lot of our events, activities, news that you need to know as students. We put those out there on Facebook and Twitter and so forth. So please check our CTC social media. And again, just like this program will be on YouTube later, we have a YouTube channel, and a lot of our former CTC live sessions with different academic departments, our former info sessions and other worthwhile educational sessions are out there on YouTube. So please check those, just like a lot of the videos we've showed you today. So if there's any questions that you might have or need to review anything, it's out there and available for you. So we encourage you to take advantage of those. So, all right, so that will be a wrap for this info session. We hope to see you on campus, or at least with us as Eagles, and progressing forward towards your graduation with your degree or certificate in hand. So, all right. So with any other questions, any comments, last chance, type them in or speak up. If not, we say thank you again for your time, and thank all the people in this session here, Dr. Reese, Dr. Clemens, Julie Stark, Jeff, and Amy, and Barbara, and Lee. We thank you all so very much for being a part of this and helping our students. So again, you guys take care, and we'll see you next time, and hopefully see you on campus.
Thanks.